You made it through check-in, the ship is waiting, your vacation is about to begin. Until security pulls you aside, and everything unravels. Cruise lines have quietly banned new items in 2025. And breaking the rules? That can get you disembarked fast. No warnings, no refunds, no cruise. These aren't just rumors. They're real rules that real travelers are already getting burned by. Here are the banned items you need to know before it's too late. You probably packed it for a little relaxation, your favorite ocean playlist, or that white noise machine that helps you fall asleep. But guess what? It's banned. Carnival Cruise Line has now fully prohibited Bluetooth speakers, even inside your own cabin. Why? They say it's to make sure you can hear emergency announcements. But let's be honest, it's also to stop people from turning the pool deck into Coachella. Same goes for Bluetooth white noise machines. Even if you plan to keep it low, security still sees it as a risk. So what's allowed? Earbuds, headphones, and maybe a soft hum from the air conditioning if you're lucky. Otherwise, your speaker might be spending the cruise in the naughty room, and you'll be relaxing to the sweet sound of nothing. Think you can outsmart cruise Wi-Fi prices with your own satellite dish? Think again. Cruise lines have officially banned personal Starlink systems, along with any hotspot devices that split your connection. Yep, even if it's just for your family. Some passengers tried bringing tech that shares one Wi-Fi plan across multiple devices. The cruise lines? Not amused. They now scan for rogue networks, and if they catch one, your gear gets confiscated. And no, you don't get it back until the cruise is over, if you're lucky. So unless you want to be flagged before you even unpack, ditch the hotspot hacks. Because in 2025, the only satellite you're connecting to is the one charging $30 a day. Remember when walkie-talkies were the smart way to keep tabs on your travel group? Cruise lines like Royal Caribbean and Norwegian are banning them, along with wireless baby monitors. Why? They mess with the ship's emergency communication systems. Yes, really. Even the low-power models can interfere with radio frequencies, and that's a big deal when you're floating in the middle of the ocean. So don't count on security making exceptions. Many ships are done with the gray areas. They're banning these devices completely. Got kids on board? Stick to the cruise line's app to stay in touch. Or go old school and knock on the door. Because the only static you want on your cruise is from the sea breeze, not your two-way radio. Think you've outsmarted the drink package by sneaking on a box of wine? Cruise lines are cracking down hard, and boxed wine is at the top of the nope list. Why? Because it's harder to inspect, easier to tamper with, and harder to control once opened. Even if you're just trying to sip Cabernet on your balcony, that box could get flagged at security. Most lines still let you bring one standard bottle of wine per adult. But show up with a box, and it'll either be confiscated or held until disembarkation, if you're lucky. And don't even think about beer, liquor, or hard seltzers. Those are banned outright, so play it safe. Bring one sealed bottle. And yes, double check that your corkscrew isn't on the naughty list too. You decorated your cabin door with a cute little pineapple. Totally innocent, right? Well, not exactly. An upside-down pineapple has become an unofficial signal on cruise ships. And let's just say it doesn't mean tropical vibes. It's become widely known as a swinger symbol. And while that might sound funny, it's caused enough confusion and awkward moments that some cruise lines, like Carnival, have officially banned it. If you're caught displaying one, you could be asked to remove it immediately. And in some cases, you may even be reported to guest services. Even if you didn't know the meaning, it's still best to leave the fruit at home. So unless you're on a cruise where pineapples are part of the theme, stick to seashells and towel animals. Think your little outlet extender is a cruise hack? Not anymore. Cruise lines, especially Royal Caribbean, have quietly banned most multi-plug devices with standard sockets. We're not just talking surge protectors. Even those harmless-looking extenders with 2 extra outlets? Yep, banned. If your charger combines USB and traditional sockets, security might flag it and take it away during boarding. Why? Because these devices can overheat or interfere with the ship's electrical systems, especially on older vessels that weren't designed for modern tech. Here's the kicker. Many cabins still only have 2 outlets total, So what should you pack instead? A USB-only hub, no standard plugins, and make sure it doesn't have surge protection. Trust me, it's better than finding your extension cord in the naughty room lost and found. Thinking of capturing that epic sail-away shot with your drone? Think again. Cruise lines have cracked down hard on drones. Not just flying them, but even bringing them on board. Carnival and Norwegian won't let you bring one at all. Others might let you pack it, but you'll need to check it with security and never fly it on board. And in port, you better check local laws, because flying a drone in the wrong country can actually get you arrested. Yep, one guy did it and ended up facing charges. So unless you're on a drone-permitted excursion, just don't bother. Stick to your phone or a GoPro. They're lighter, safer, and way less likely to land you in cruise ship jail. You packed your favorite pink flamingo float. You imagine drifting peacefully in the cruise ship pool. But there's just one problem. Cruise pools are strict no-float zones. That means no pool noodles, no inflatable donuts, and definitely no giant unicorns. Why? Safety. With limited pool space and no lifeguards, floats become a serious hazard, even for kids. Pool staff won't hesitate to shut it down. They'll confiscate floaties faster than you can say Marco Polo. What's allowed? Life vests, and most ships offer them for free. So save the inflatable menagerie for your backyard pool, unless you want to see it deflate along with your cruise dreams. You step off the ship, ready to hit that postcard perfect beach. Towel? Check. Flip-flops? Check. Sunscreen? Uh-oh. Because if your sunscreen isn't reef safe, you could actually be fined, blocked from the beach, or even kicked off an excursion. Ports like Hawaii, the US Virgin Islands, and parts of Mexico have banned sunscreens with harmful chemicals that damage coral reefs and marine life. And no, your cruise line probably won't warn you. They don't enforce it on board. But local authorities do. Avoid the headache, avoid the guilt trip, pack reef-safe sunscreen from the start. It protects your skin and the ocean you came to enjoy. A little poker with friends sounds harmless, right? Especially when the ship's rocking and you've got hours to kill. But if there's real money on the table, and you're not inside the casino, you've just broken a major cruise rule. Cruise lines have strict policies against gambling for cash in public spaces like lounges, buffets, or pool decks. Why? To comply with international gambling laws and to avoid any onboard drama that comes with money disputes. Even a casual bet can get flagged by crew, and yes, they do monitor these things. So if you're feeling lucky, keep the stakes friendly. Or better yet, take it to the casino, where the chairs are comfier and no one's getting written up. This last one is already throwing a wrench into people's cruise plans. Some UK-based cruise lines are now saying, no wheelchair, no boarding, unless you booked the right cabin. Yep. Passengers who bring a wheelchair but didn't reserve an accessible cabin are being denied boarding, even if the chair is foldable. The cruise lines say it's about safety protocols. They need to ensure staff can assist during emergencies. But for many travelers, it feels more like a last-minute curveball. Imagine showing up for your long-awaited cruise and being turned away at the terminal because of your mobility aid. It's already happening. So if you, or a loved one, uses a wheelchair, double-check the fine print and call the cruise line directly. Better to be safe than stuck at the dock with a fully packed suitcase. Cruising should be smooth sailing, but just one overlooked item could turn your vacation upside down. These bans aren't just fine print. They're the difference between boarding with confidence or being called to the dreaded security desk. So before you zip up your suitcase, take 5 minutes to double-check your packing list. Because the rules have changed, and cruise lines aren't playing around. If this video helped you avoid a costly mistake, a quick like lets us know we're doing something right. And if you've ever had something confiscated, or dodged a packing disaster, drop your story in the comments below. Cruise smart, cruise safe, and we'll see you back here with more tips real soon.
Before you step on board that luxurious cruise ship, there are 12 surprising things you should absolutely never pack. They might seem harmless, but the cruise line sees them as serious risks. Pack one of these by mistake, and you could find yourself in the dreaded naughty room, or worse, removed from the ship before your vacation even starts. In this video, we're revealing the banned items cruise passengers keep getting caught with. But before we sail out, please hit that subscribe button if you don't want to miss the latest cruise updates of 2025. That travel-size steamer you saw advertised as cruise-approved? Yeah, it's not. Even if the product claims it's safe for use on board, cruise lines don't see it that way. Why? Because steamers, irons, and similar heating devices pose a serious fire risk, and fire at sea is one of the biggest safety concerns for any ship. Security will scan your bags, and if they see one of these gadgets, it's gone before you ever make it to your cabin. And no, pleading that it was Facebook approved won't help. Want wrinkle-free clothes? Try wrinkle release spray or simply hang your outfits in the bathroom during a hot shower. It's not perfect, but at least you won't lose your luggage privilege on day one. This one trips up first-time cruisers all the time. Sure, bringing a few bags of candy or sealed snacks is perfectly fine. But if you try to board with a homemade sandwich, a bag of sliced cheese, or even a leftover pizza, it's going straight into the trash. Cruise ships follow strict sanitation and customs regulations, and anything perishable, or not factory sealed, can be flagged as a contamination risk. Worse, if you try to bring fruit or meat off the ship in port, especially in countries like Mexico or the Bahamas, you could face serious fines at the border. A quick snack isn't worth a legal headache. Trust us. We all have our comfort items, especially when sleeping in an unfamiliar place. For some, that's a heating blanket. But these, along with travel kettles, rice cookers, hot plates, and even small coffee makers, are strictly banned on cruise ships. Why? Once again, it's all about fire risk. These devices use exposed heating elements or draw too much power, which can be dangerous in a cruise cabin's compact environment. If you truly need warmth, consider a microwavable heating pad or a reusable hot water bottle. And remember, most cruise ships have complimentary coffee nearly 24/7, so you'll survive without your Keurig. This might sound strange, but wearing camo could get you into serious trouble once you're off the ship. While camouflage clothing is totally fine in many countries, it's illegal in others, especially across parts of the Caribbean like Barbados, Jamaica, or Trinidad. Why? In these regions, camouflage is often reserved for military or police, and civilians wearing it could be mistaken for impersonators, or even face fines or questioning. So while you can wear it on board, why risk it? One innocent outfit could turn into an awkward conversation with customs, or worse. Trying to add a bit of privacy in your shared cabin? Some seasoned cruisers bring magnetic hooks and hang up curtains to split the room. It might sound clever, until security sees it. Cruise lines like Carnival have updated their policies to prohibit any drapes or dividers, as they interfere with fire sprinklers, emergency lighting, or cabin inspections. You could be asked to remove them, or have them confiscated entirely. Instead, look for travel-friendly alternatives, like pop-up privacy pods or even sleep masks with headphones. Drones are a gray area. Some cruise lines allow them, if declared properly. Others don't allow them at all. Even if you are allowed to bring one on board, you'll never be allowed to fly it on the ship itself, not even when docked. In some cases, security will take your drone and store it for the duration of the cruise, only returning it when you disembark. So if you're planning to get that perfect drone shot in port, make sure you check your cruise line's exact policy in advance. Otherwise, your drone might spend more time in storage than in the sky. You might not expect this, but live plants and bouquets are usually banned from being brought on board. Why? It's all about agricultural contamination. Live flowers, soil, and potted plants can carry pests or bacteria that could wreak havoc on a ship's tightly controlled environment. That said, many cruise lines will let you order flowers to your cabin through their internal systems, so romance isn't completely off the table. Power outlets are limited in older cruise cabins, and travelers often try to solve that with a surge-protected power strip. But these strips are actually on the banned list for most cruise lines. They pose a fire risk and can interfere with the ship's electrical systems. Instead, bring a non-surge protected power cube. Bonus points if it has USB ports. And steer clear of long extension cords. Those are usually confiscated too. Packing scissors for grooming or small fixes. Totally fine. But anything with blades longer than 4 inches gets flagged as a safety hazard. Some passengers have even had sewing kits confiscated because of one oversized tool. Check your cruise line's guidelines before packing anything sharp. Better safe than sorry. That water gun for beach day? Or your kid's bright orange Nerf blaster? Leave them at home. Cruise security doesn't take chances when it comes to anything resembling a weapon. Yes, even toys. Even if they're obviously fake. There have been cases where families had these taken away and kids left in tears. So skip the toy weapons and pack other fun beach toys instead. This might surprise some passengers. CBD oil, edibles, and related products are banned, even if they're legal where you live. Cruise lines operate under international maritime law, and policies err on the side of caution. Plus, many ships use sniffer dogs, and being caught with certain items could result in a forced disembarkation. Yes, really. Don't ruin your vacation over something avoidable. If you're not sure it's allowed, it probably isn't. Sure, you can bring a bottle of wine on most cruises, but anything stronger? That's where passengers get sneaky. There's a whole subculture of cruise-goers trying to sneak in liquor using shampoo bottles, mouthwash containers, or fake sunscreen flasks from Amazon. But cruise security has seen it all, and they're getting very good at spotting these tricks. Entire Reddit threads document the crackdown. Some people even go as far as buying resealing kits and adding red food coloring to pass off vodka as wine. Is it worth it? Probably not. Especially with beverage packages offering all-you-can-drink options at decent prices. Trying to cheat the system might end with your stash poured down the drain. So there you have it. 12 things you should never pack for a cruise. Some of them might seem harmless, even smart. But cruise security is one step ahead. Most of the time, these items will just get taken away. But occasionally, the consequences are far worse. And your dream vacation ends before it even starts. Now you know what to avoid, so you can cruise worry-free. If you found this video helpful, give it a like, and don't forget to subscribe for more cruise tips and travel secrets. Safe travels, and we'll see you on board. Cruising is one of the best ways to travel. But let's not kid ourselves, it's not exactly a bargain buffet. Even with deals and early bird specials, the costs can sneak up on you. Tips, drinks, souvenirs, add-ons you didn't know you needed. And the truth is, most of us are pretty good at wasting money without even realizing it. Before we dive in the sneaky money wasters we all fall victim to, make sure to hit that subscribe button. Let's talk about the first place cruise money goes to die, the non-refundable deposit. It's tempting, isn't it? You see that low deposit offer. $50 to lock in your cruise? Sounds great. Until life happens, plans change, and you need to cancel. And that bargain suddenly becomes a donation to the cruise line's retirement fund. The catch is simple refundable deposits cost more upfront, but they save you the grief and the money later. Non-refundable deposits are fine if you're 100% sure, but let's be honest, when are any of us that sure months in advance? So next time you're tempted by the $50 hold my spot deal, ask yourself, am I booking a cruise or just flirting with the idea of one? Because if you cancel 3 maybes in a year, that's $150 gone, and not one step closer to a ship. Need cash on board? That'll be $8 from the ATM, plus whatever your bank charges for the privilege. Try using your credit card at the casino tables. That could be another 3 to 6% just to access your own money. It's a fee on top of a gamble. Not exactly a winning combo. Bring some cash or use the slot machine trick to charge your account with no fee. Just don't press your luck too far. The house always wins, especially on fees. Let me paint a picture. You're sitting at home weeks before your cruise. Cruise planner open, eyes wide with excitement. Snorkeling with turtles? Yes. Waterfall hike in St. Lucia? Absolutely. A cultural walking tour with a rum tasting at the end? Well, now we're talking. You book them all. Boom, boom, boom. But then, cruise day arrives. You board, you unpack, you enjoy your first buffet, and by day 2, you've officially entered what I like to call vacation inertia. You wake up the next morning with no intention of chasing waterfalls or any kind of turtle. You cancel nothing. You simply don't go. And those $300 in excursions? Bye-bye. Here's the thing. Cruise lines often require you to cancel 24 to 48 hours in advance to get a refund. After that, it's like that money took its own excursion and didn't come back. So if you're feeling ambitious pre-cruise, great, but leave room to rest and set a calendar reminder for those cancellation deadlines just in case reality hits harder than your first pina colada. If I had $1 for every overpriced, travel-sized item I've seen in a cruise gift shop, I could probably afford a sweet upgrade. Here's what happens. You pack in a rush, assume the cabin will have the basics, and suddenly find yourself holding a $17 bottle of sunscreen in your hand and wondering how SPF got so expensive. Sundries, yes, that odd old-fashioned word, include things like toothpaste, deodorant, sunscreen, aloe vera, motion sickness pills, and other not-so-fun but very necessary items. Cruise lines stock them in the gift shop because they know we forget them. And when we're floating in the middle of the Caribbean with a sunburn and no aloe, well, they've got us right where they want us. But it's not their fault. They're providing a service. The best fix? Print yourself a packing checklist and make a little zip bag with all the tiny things you usually forget. It might just save you $50. And your dignity. There's something wonderfully ironic about getting home from your relaxing, budget-friendly cruise, only to be greeted by a $600 cell phone bill from your provider, all because you forgot to switch your phone to airplane mode. Yes, this really happens. And no, your cell phone company won't give you a cruise discount. What's worse is that your phone might silently connect to a maritime satellite network without you even noticing. One photo upload, one email refresh, one weather check, and you've just paid $23 for a single megabyte of data. The fix? It's painfully simple airplane mode on, Wi-Fi only. Most cruise lines offer decent internet packages now, and even if they're a little pricey, they're still better than roaming charges that could buy you another cruise. So before you even leave port, flip that switch. Your future self and your phone bill will thank you. Transportation is one of those sneaky expenses that adds up, especially when you're not planning ahead. I've heard so many stories from fellow cruisers who flew into the wrong airport thinking, it's only an hour away. Then they hop into an Uber, and suddenly they're paying $160 just to reach the port. Houston to Galveston, Orlando to Port Canaveral. It happens all the time. What most people don't realize is that cruise lines often offer transfer buses from the airport at a much lower rate. It's not glamorous. You'll wait a little. And yes, you might end up chatting with someone who brought a 3-foot inflatable flamingo, but you'll save a chunk of money and arrive with less stress. Even in port cities, many hotels offer cruise shuttles, and ports like Aruba or San Juan often have free public transport that takes you straight to town. So before you tap Request Ride, check the alternatives, because overpaying for transport is a waste you can 100% avoid. We all love cruise souvenirs. A t-shirt from Cozumel, a fridge magnet shaped like a flamingo, maybe even a handcrafted wooden turtle you swear is tasteful. But here's the sign you've gone too far. You're buying a duffel bag on board to fit the extras. Yes, cruise gift shops sell luggage, not because people lose theirs, but because they buy more than they can carry home. The markups? Not gentle. The quality? Let's just say, souvenir grade. If you tend to go a little overboard on shopping, pun fully intended, bring a foldable tote in your suitcase. It's light, cheap, and saves you from the embarrassment of checking a suitcase full of t-shirts and snow globes. And before you ask, no, the cruise line will not ship your 5th flamingo statue home for you. The drink package debate is as old as cruising itself. Is it worth it? Should I get one? Should I skip it? The answer, like most things in cruising, depends entirely on you. If you're someone who sips wine at dinner, has a cocktail at the show, and grabs a latte in the morning, it might be a great deal. But if you drink 3 glasses of water and a Diet Coke each day, you're pouring money down the drain. On the flip side, if you're going to pay for drinks individually, and you're enjoying 5 or more each day, you could be spending more than the cost of the package. Cruise lines don't make this easy. They bundle drinks, coffee, Wi-Fi, gratuities, then charge you like it's a luxury all-inclusive. So before you hit buy, take 5 minutes, do the math, and know your drinking habits. There's nothing worse than watching your bill grow faster than your cocktail count. Most of us assume nothing bad will happen on a cruise, and most of the time, we're right. But when something does happen, a fall, a sudden illness, a dental emergency at sea, it can get very expensive, very quickly. Medical centers on ships aren't included in your cruise fare. A visit can cost hundreds, a medevac, tens of thousands. One crew member told me about a passenger who had to be flown off the ship mid-cruise. No insurance, no backup plan. It nearly wiped out their savings. The solution? Get travel insurance. It's cheap compared to the potential costs. And there are plenty of sites like insuremytrip.com that let you compare quotes in minutes. And if you already have insurance, make sure it covers cruise-specific medical care, because not all plans do. Cruisers are generous people. We like to tip well, especially when the crew has gone above and beyond. But what happens all too often is we tip twice by accident. You get the bill at the bar, see a blank line for gratuity, and jot down a tip, not realizing the 18% service charge is already included. You meant to tip $3, you tipped $7, then you did it again at dinner. Over a 7-day cruise, that can add up to a small fortune in bonus tipping, and not always where you intended it to go. Always read the fine print. If it says additional tip, that means the first one is already built in. Tip generously, but do it intentionally. I told you earlier I was guilty of 7 of these, and I am. I've lost deposits, skipped excursions, paid casino fees, forgotten essentials, double-tipped, bought extra luggage, and overpaid for transport. But hey, we live, we learn, we cruise again. What's your number? Let me know in the comments. And if this helped, give it a like, subscribe, and I'll see you in the next video, hopefully saving you money before your next cruise.